This is Sikandapur, a village of Balagonj in the district of Sylhet of Bangladesh. In 1971, a 4-year-old boy and his mother left this village to join his father in the UK and start a new life in the East End of London. That boy's name was Lutfur Rahman.
The person who brought us up was my mother. And for her, the human qualities were very important to her. And one thing she used to say constantly, I remember very well, that it doesn't cost to smile. It doesn't cost to be polite and courteous to people. Treat people with respect, you will get respect. Do people good, don't do them harm. And if you can, and you must be humble all the time. Those qualities are the qualities that my parents, and my mother in particular, installed in me and helped me to grow up to the adult I am. And I will say the one most important person who inspired me to get into public service is my mother.
Today, Lutfur is the first executive mayor of Tower Hamlets. He is the first BME mayor, not just in Britain, but the whole of Europe. He represents 275,000 people. He heads a council with a £1.2 billion budget and 11,000 employees. Lutfur grew up in the East End and went to local primary and secondary schools.
I knew him to be very hard-working, very dedicated to his studies. And I only ever saw the back of his head, because I always sat at the back and he always sat at the front.
After studying law, he trained and worked in the city as a solicitor and then came back to the borough as partner in the law firm where he specialised in complex family law cases until becoming mayor. Like many Bangladeshis, he had to fight racism, poverty and overcrowding to get ahead.
Hamlets is part and parcel of my upbringing. My children go to school here, my sisters grew up here, and the community of Tower Hamlets, I love the community.
Today, as Mayor of Tower Hamlets, Lutfur is ranked 53rd in the Telegraph's list of Britain's 100 most influential.
And for me, the sense of public service comes from the fact that I grew up in this borough, and this borough is in my blood, it's in my thoughts, it's in my feelings.
Lutfur cut his teeth in community activism in the 1980s, standing against the National Front when they marched on Brick Lane. He joined the Labour Party and the GMB Union since he was of a young age and was chair of the Tower Hamlets Law Centre for 5 years. In 2002, he was elected as a councillor for Spitalfields and Banglatown Ward. He served as a lead member for culture and as a lead member for education before becoming leader of the council from 2008 to 2010.
Lutfur Rahman was a successful leader of Tower Hamlets Council for many years before he became mayor. I believe that he's a man of high integrity and a man who's prepared to challenge vested interests.
In his time as leader, Lutfur saw that politics in Tower Hamlets was no longer serving the people. Instead, it had become about backroom deals between established elites and vested interests. Lutfur lent his backing to a community campaign for a directly elected mayor in Tower Hamlets to bring the council back into the community.
Few councillors controlled by a party machinery, dictating, directing and pulling your string, but rather the people of Tower Hamlets who are so important, for whom we get elected If they could elect you, you're directly representing them. Therefore, we decided and supported the mayoral model.
The main political parties did not want to lose their monopoly on power and fiercely opposed the Yes for Mayor campaign. But the people of Tower Hamlets wanted change. On a 60% turnout, they voted for the new system by a 2-3 majority.
It was to establish political stability. Because of the old system, we had unstable administration, direct rule of mayor, direct engagement with the public voters that we could have ensured through creating a mayoral option.
Following the victory of the Yes for Mayor campaign, the Labour Party moved against Lutfur, axing him from the shortlist of their candidates to be mayor. Lutfur took the Labour Party to court and the party was forced to reinstate him. Lutfur was selected as Labour's candidate for mayor, winning 460 of the 700 votes cast.
The winner and Labour's candidate for the mayoral contest in Tower Hamlets will be Lutfur Rahman.
And I will work very hard to make sure that he is elected.
It was a victory for the people. Labour Party launched its mayoral campaign for Lutfur with huge optimism. But the drama was not over. One of Lutfur's beaten rivals submitted a dodgy dossier against him, and without even investigating the claims, Labour removed Lutfur as candidate.
Well, I think it's very unfortunate that this all happened before Ed Miliband was leader and Ian McNicol was General Secretary, because I don't think it would have happened now. But the NEC was just bounced into making this decision. Lutfur Rahman wasn't given any chance to reply to any of the accusations that had been made. When they did investigate the membership irregularities, it came to nothing. They said 16 people might have voted when they shouldn't have done, which wouldn't have affected the result anyway. They won't do another investigation on the grounds that Lutfur is obviously no longer a member, but just none of it made sense at the time, really. They were saying, oh, Lutfur Rahman's a Muslim fundamentalist and he's extremely left-wing. Now, surely you can't be both those things at the same time.
With the support of the community, 14 Labour councillors and former Labour Mayor of London, Ken Livingstone, Lutfur stood as an independent with Labour values. On the 21st of October 2010, the voters of Tower Hamlets chose Lutfur as the first directly elected mayor of Tower Hamlets.
Lutfur Rahman, having polled 51.76% of the vote, is hereby elected as no new competing.
The Labour Party has suffered a humiliating defeat in the election for Mayor of Tower Hamlets. Lutfur Rahman, who stood as an independent after being deselected as Labour's candidate, easily beat the man who replaced him.
This is the man that Labour didn't want, but the people of Tower Hamlets did.
I will work for you and each and every member of Tower Hamlets.
We fought against the injustice, gave the right reply through the ballot paper.
Now made a number of pledges. The pledges are here. They're set out in black and white. But let me say this to you. When I said we will deliver 4,000 new homes, affordable homes for rent for the people of Tower Hamlets, we have delivered and we will deliver on our pledges. When I said that our children will have the best education results ever in Tower Hamlets, look at our GCSE results this year, the best ever. When we said we will fight the drug dealers, our dealer day, each day, every day, the police are arresting more drug dealers, and more of the drug dealers are going through the court systems. There are a number of other pledges that are made. I'm not going to detail all of them. They're set out in the paper, they're set out on the YouTube and the website, they're set out in every document that Council has produced.